Hello, everybody. Here we are at Puckin' Deep again. We've been doing season previews for each NHL team, and today we're on to the Minnesota Wild. A very interesting team indeed. There's a whole Kaprizov stuff going on there. That was interesting.
Right.
Whether he's going to sign or not, which I do believe he will sign. But we did the Rangers just recently. We did that live. Check it out. Didn't work out very well at the end, but it's out there. We got everything we needed to say. Philadelphia, we've worked it together. And remember, I'm going to be doing a show in the regular season on Puckin' Deep on RNJ Media, who is run by Ron right here. And Ron's coming here to talk to me, talk about the Minnesota Wild and the direction they may go. I think you would be a guy that would know a lot being there in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania and stuff like that. You would have a lot of insight on Bill Guerin and the Minnesota Wild. How would you
Not
view?
necessarily. Not necessarily coming from Pennsylvania, even though they're from Minnesota. My pastor is from Minnesota. Does that count?
Oh, okay, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
But no, but here's the thing though, okay? So I really like Minnesota. I really like what they've been doing up there. I mean, ever
Mhm.
since they got rid of the Chuck Fletchers. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Right? There was another team that had to get rid of a Chuck Fletcher too, but
Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
they got rid of Chuck Fletcher, that team has done nothing but good things. They made the playoffs a couple times. Do you know what I mean? Their team has gotten better. I like some of the guys that they've brought in. Do you
Hmm.
know what I mean? The Here's the thing though, and this is what we've talked about for every single team. You need to have that top number one C. You need to have that top defense or defensive pairing, and you need to have goaltending.
Hmm.
Okay, and quite frankly, I think that Minnesota is got the goaltending part covered.
Not bad. Yep.
You know what I mean? So have they gotten the other parts worked out?
Hmm.
Every time they've made the playoffs, they gave Vegas a good showing, but eventually got pummeled. Do you
Hmm.
know what I mean? So they've made some good showings. Haven't been able to get past the first round of the playoffs. I don't know, man. With where they are right now in the league they're playing in, I don't know if they're going to be able to make it. They could potentially as a wild card because they've extended it now, but I don't know, man. They
Well,
added Nicholas Kubel. You know what I mean? They added him. So here's the other thing that I think too about them. Aside from their goaltending and everything else that that we talked about, as far as that's concerned, the guys that they brought in. Do you know what I mean? The Marco Rossi signing a contract.
mm,
How is Gustafson going to handle this? They brought in Cal Peterson as well. Do you know what I mean? To help in the goaltending, can Steve Bunham and Zach Bogosian be enough on the back end with Dave
that's what I'm
Jarkin?
looking at too.
Right,
See William, David Juracek is just a kid. Zach
right.
Bogosian isn't the greatest in the world. Faber
No,
didn't actually really knock it out of the park last year. He's young, but I mean, he seemed to get overwhelmed when he played against top competition. And Jacob Middleton has never been a top left LD. They keep on making him out to be. And then, of course, you've got the Brodeen injury that
yeah,
just never goes away. The guy's injured all the time.
like I
And
said.
I think you bring up a good point there that this is a team that's generally known for their defense, and Jared Spurgeon is now 36.
By the way, that's
And
the wrong side of 30.
yeah, and overall, I wouldn't really call this defense overly fantastic. Now, I'm going to give him something with Zeev Buyum. From what I understand, like from what I've heard, and I mean, he He had like 48 points in Denver last year in 41 games. That's really impressive for a defenseman that's not even 20 years old. Like, this kid is
Exactly.
going to be good. It's a question of how good is he going to be? Like, how good is he going to be now? I think he's going to be a star in the league, but they're putting a lot on this kid. He's going to have to play top, uh, at least the 3-4 spot. He's going to be playing against top competition every night until Brodeen comes back. So we'll see if he's able to hold up. I
I
saw him
I
last year. What I saw
yeah.
of him, he's got lots of talent. He's got lots of skills, but I didn't see enough of him to see what his overall game is like. So I kind of put a question mark behind that.
Oh, really?
Um, it's
Okay.
yeah.
I've seen him play in juniors. I mean, he was a coveted draft pick, and the fact
Mm-hmm,
that he wasn't able to get any traction where he was drafted is a real shame. But it
mm-hmm,
also goes to show you the depth of the team that he came from. Do you know what I mean? And now that he's here with
yeah,
Minnesota, I think he's going to get a chance to shine. And I think he is going to be able to take the load and be able to play over 20 minutes a game as that second pairing. You know what I
right.
mean? And he's going to probably end up being on the power play or potentially be on the penalty kill. I don't have a problem with his game. His defensive game is actually pretty well rounded for being as young as he is. Look, he just
Mm-hmm.
needs experience. You
It's the
know,
for being as young as he is
I mean,
that
you're
I'm.
right. Yeah, okay,
That's the thing. I mean, a lot of what Faber is doing is good for how what's he like 23 is good for how young he is, and like you can say that about a lot of players, but you can't change the how young he is aspect. They're still not there yet, and I don't know how there he's going to be. I'm not sure this year. It's asking a lot
it
for a
is,
kid to
but
have that
it,
much,
it
at
is, but
that.
he's got some good veterans back there to lean on.
Sure, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, you got the Zach Bogosians, you got those guys that are you can lean
Mhm.
on those guys, and I think that's going to be part of it. I think that's going to be part of what his learning curve, and eh,
Yeah.
guys
I
learn
got a
how to
kid
be
that
a
was very
professional.
confident, though. That's one thing I will say.
Yeah.
Confidence is not a problem with Boom. I
No.
don't think anybody's going to be knocking that kid down confidence wise, which is really good. It's really good to have that much confidence in yourself. As far as what you were saying about the top number one center, I mean, this has been a problem for them for quite some time that they've been trying. Mostly it has been because, or at least they've been saying, because they were paying Suter and Parise a very large chunk of money that they bought out a while ago. And now this year, if I remember correctly, their cap is not spectacular. They got about 4 million. But next year it's going to be a lot. They're really going
Right.
to be focusing on Marco Rossi, who last year fared pretty well. This is what I say about this team. This is a team that's the sum of its parts more than the actual. Like
That's a good way
except
to
for
put that.
Kaprizov is amazing.
Yeah, that's a good
Kaprizov
way
is
to put that.
amazing. One of the best three zone defense players in the game. Plays elite competition. Could probably score 50 goals for you.
Yeah, I love Pro. Oh
Matt
man.
Boldy is absolutely awesome at 24 years old. They're really good there. Joel Eriksson Ek is an elite second line shutdown guy, really good. But none of this he's elite shutdown guy. Is he an elite player? No, but he's very good in his role. And they don't really have that centered, like you said, that's going to take over a game or something like that. They have
Exactly.
Marcus Johansson, good solid three-way guy. Marcus Foligno, same sort of thing, although he's getting older. Ryan Hartman. Yeah, these are good
Getting older.
players.
Yep.
And if you look at other teams, you'll like most other teams, you'll see these top end guys like Rangers we talked about yesterday. They got Panarin and guys like that. But once you start going down in the lineup, they're not as good as Minnesota. So they're basically working on really good offensive depth and a solid structure that I do believe that they have. I think that will get them in. Last year, before they had all these injuries, because remember Kaprizov was injured last year.
Right.
Brodin, of course, again was injured. Joel Eriksson Ek was injured last
Yep.
year, and they
Yeah, they
still
did
found
have
a
some
way to
injuries.
make the playoffs. And before that, they were on a roll. They were really flying last year. They were completely on a roll. Um, and like you said, Philip Gustafsson, I mean, he's an above average number one goaltender. The Jesper Wallstedt kid, they're putting him as a second. I don't know about that. He didn't do very well in the AHL, but I think this is like I think this is something that or something you brought up, that this is a team that bubbles, makes it in, and then loses in the first round again. It's it's can they keep on doing this? Where are they going to find that number one center or that one player that's going to bring them into an elite status where you can say this is a contender? Would you call this team a contender to win the cup next year?
No.
No,
No, not
neither
even
me.
close. I mean, they finished fourth in the Central with 97 points. They were 45, 30, and 7,
Yeah,
right? That that that's not too bad. I mean, all
that's with a
things
lot of injuries
considered.
though too. You got to remember
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah,
Okay, so they made a lot of that at the beginning of the season and then towards the end where the injuries kind of caught up to them. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So, but they got bounced in the first round. And then what
yeah,
was it, the year before or 2 years before where they were playing against Vegas and they actually they actually punched Vegas in the mouth and got him to bleed a little bit and then Vegas was like, "Well, oh yeah," and then just
yeah,
housed him, right? So I
yeah,
mean, they've tasted the playoffs.
yeah,
They have that potential there. I just don't think they're the complete team yet. I just
yeah.
don't. I think they're a step or two away.
We've been saying that for a long time, and I think part of the problem is they have to try too hard to make the playoffs. By the time they get to the playoffs, like this is a grindy team. They got
Yeah, they're they're
Folignos,
they're out of gas.
they
They're
got
out of gas.
Ekkin. Yeah, they're out of gas by the time the playoffs come. They
Yep.
need some guys that can just win games for them. They need at least one guy that can just win a game for you where you don't have to grind out every single game, work your bag off in the regular season just to make it. And then when the
Yeah.
playoffs start, you're going up against, like you said, a team like Vegas that rests their players down the stretch. They win games playing perimeter and not engaging physically all that much because they got the talent to be able to win those games.
Yeah.
Minnesota just doesn't have that.
Nope.
And I think that's pretty much what we're seeing. Same old for Minnesota. Hopefully next year, they should be called the Minnesota Hopefully Next Years. That's what they should be called because that's pretty much what they are
Oh
every single
man.
year. And it's
Okay.
time for Guerin to take the next step here. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
getting a little thin in this. Okay, we're good enough category where you're getting middle round firsts and not
Yeah.
really a contender and all that stuff. And I don't know what the answer is, to tell you the honest truth, besides finding that number one center somehow.
Here's the thing though, when you look at the division that they're in with the Colorados and the
Makes it
Dallases.
tougher.
Right. Okay, right. So that's what I'm getting at here, right? I think I think that Mammoth is going to be a little bit better. I don't know what's going to happen with Nashville necessarily. Chicago's going to be a little better. I'm looking at probably Colorado to win this or Dallas, right? With Minnesota finishing fourth last season, Y- I don't see Dallas, Colorado, maybe St. Louis, maybe Minnesota coming out of here, unless y'all think Utah's going to be any better, or unless you think Nashville's going to be any better.
Not
But
Nashville.
yeah, okay, right. So I don't know, man.
I think I think Minnesota could have everybody and actually do very well and even come second in the division, something like that. I could see it happening because they play that so hard every game, right? Winnipeg does this. Winnipeg has not learned that you don't need to win every game. They haven't learned this. You can you look at the Floridas and Tampa Bays and stuff like that. If you look them on the set down the stretch in the second half, you'll see them play perimeter games, not engaging physically. And people will be saying, "What happened to Tampa? What happened to Florida?" I'll tell you what happened. any coach will tell you this is a marathon. The regular season is a marathon. It's not a
Oh yeah.
sprint. It's not a sprint. There's times when you're going to have there's going to be certain spots in the season where you're going to have to kind of take a break and hope you win some. And Minnesota doesn't have the talent to do that, and Winnipeg doesn't know how to do that apparently. Like these kind of teams. Also, Winnipeg doesn't really have the talent to do that either. So they end up having to grind all their games, and you can win the division. That's the reason why the President's Trophy curse, that
Oh
President's
yeah.
Trophy,
Oh
it's not a
yeah.
curse. It's a team that tried way too hard for a trophy that don't matter. And then when they go in the playoffs, they're done.
Because
Like
that's exactly
Toronto,
what happened to Winnipeg, man. Because they
yeah,
won the President's Trophy last year.
yeah.
I still think they have a really good team up there. Do you know what I mean? But that's exactly right. You put all of everything into the regular season, then it comes down to the second season, and you got nothing left.
Exactly. That's
You
what
know,
happened.
I
That's
mean
what
that
happened.
all you have to do is look at Hellebuck. All you have to do is look at how he
Yep.
played and
Mhm.
see how he did all throughout the whole regular season. Vezina
Yeah.
Trophy winning goaltender, and then he got to the playoffs and he had nothing left.
Yeah. I think it's a combination with Hellebuck of nothing left and being too intense.
Yeah,
Um, he's got to take it down a little bit. But I mean, the best teams have learned how to do this, and they've
yeah,
learned that it is a marathon, it's not a sprint.
yeah.
And Minnesota, but the best teams have talent that can win games in like playing perimeter, not engaging. Minnesota's not that team. If they're not playing a structured defense, grinded out type game, they're not going to win too many games. And that's the
I'm
problem.
with you, man. I'm with you because if you look at the division, I mean, the division is kind of set like that. Do you know what I mean? St. Louis is kind of a grinded out team. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Colorado is kind of a physical team. You know, Chicago's kind of a grinded out physical team. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
they're just all good too. So like you took Minnesota and you put them in the Pacific Division, where you got Vancouver, Calgary, whatever. I think they'd have a better chance because they can take it a little easier against teams like that. But you're
okay,
playing in the Central. That is a tough division. You're
exactly.
playing against a lot of good, like you just mentioned, very tough teams, and it makes it much more difficult if you don't have that high offensive talent that can just pot a couple for you in a game, and you can just step back and just okay, chill, guys. Listen, like
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
like
Because
almost like a zenness you got to have through to try to remember to try to get to that finish line
yeah,
without being exhausted, man.
yeah, because
Like
because Minnesota's going to grind out games, and they're gonna if they're going to win games, they're going to be 3-2 or 4-3 or two to
usually,
one. You know
yeah,
what I mean? They're going to be one goal games. They're going to be a lot of overtime games. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Things like that. So
Hmm.
I, I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that, Perlo.
Make the playoffs out in the first or second round. I mean, if that's
So so let me
pretty
ask
much
you this question then. Let me ask you this question. So in the Central, who do you got winning the Central this year?
I think it'll be Colorado. I'm Dallas. Dallas can always surprise you because they've lost some players off of their roster, and they're replacing them with young players like Marchment and stuff like that. The question is how the young players that are coming in are going to be, and they quite often have the ability to surprise you. But I think Dallas hopefully will learn because Dallas has the worst travel schedule of any team in the NHL. Did you know that? It's
Yes.
terrible, and I'm hoping for their sake that they can get up early and start doing what I'm saying and try to slow it down a little bit, find ways to get some rest during the season. Where I just think Colorado themselves have that kind of talent to win those games that I'm talking about. I think it's the
Okay.
one team in this division and one team in the league that have the McKinnons. They have Nietzsche's, Makar, stuff
Yep.
like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
if they want to, they're gonna have. There's gonna be times when they play bad teams, they can get up right away and then start playing perimeter, and they can win those kind of
Keep the
games.
puck away from everybody, and yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So I think that they
Okay.
probably win the division. What do you think?
I like either Dallas or Colorado. I think this might be the year of Dallas. I'm hoping that that's kind of what I'm picking is Dallas.
Okay.
I also think that Colorado is going to be there as well too, and I think Winnipeg is going to be there as well. You know what I mean? But it's now it's going to be a crapshoot as to who's going to be that fourth team. Is it going to be St. Louis? Is it going to be Minnesota? Is it going to be Nashville? Is it going to be, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, so Minnesota I think is the best of the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
Like
fit in there in 4 or 5 spots, somewhere around there.
right. That's kind of where and that's kind of where they finished last year too. So that's where I'm at with them this year too. So
Yeah, they could, and also, like I said, Dallas and Colorado could get could start taking their foot off the gas, and Minnesota keeps grinding it out,
yeah,
and they
right.
end up in second or first, and then everybody's like, "Well, what happened to them? They lost in the first round because they drained themselves. They
Exactly.
play that type
Exactly.
of series." So, anyways, there we go, Minnesota. And I forgot one thing is this other kid that I wanted to talk about before we go is Liam Ogren. Watch out for that kid. Do you know anything about him? I mean, from what I
No,
saw
I
him
haven't.
as
Yeah,
a
no, I
guy,
haven't heard of that one.
yeah, he could be a difference maker for this team. He's super strong. He's but again, he's one of those guys that's like everybody else, grind it out, all of those sort of things like that. So when it comes right down to it, I think it's time for them to just get pure one or two pure offensive players that can change a game.
Hint,
And
hint,
until they
wink,
do
wink,
that,
nudge, nudge.
yeah.
You
Uh,
know, God.
Kaprizov is amazing. Don't get me wrong; he's awesome. But I
Oh,
think they need
love that player. Love him.
one or
Yeah,
two more guys that can do that.
I agree.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Ron, tell me what's going on
Oh
the
man,
whole thing that
we
we
got a
got
lot of
going
stuff
here with
going on here, man. A
RNJ
new
Media.
website coming out soon. That's going to be really awesome. It's going to feature a Puck in Deep website page where you'll be able
Mm,
to come and see all the shows and everything we got going on there.
yeah.
Um, we got some great Prospect Watch stuff coming out, so be tuned to check that out. Got some great Hockey Writers Inc. stuff now. We teamed up with the great Russ Cohen. So now we do the Hockey Writers Inc. with Russ Cohen, and that's awesome with the Flyers coverage on that. So we also do the Huddle, which is a Pittsburgh Steelers show with Gage Ryan. We just had five-star matchup on the show this past week, so be sure to check that out. Also doing the Nittany Report, where we report on the Penn State Nittany Lions, not just the football team, but the hockey team as well too. Plus the Puck in Deep, man. You got to be sure to check that out, man. New website coming out, all kinds of great stuff coming on. Doing this great partnership here with Perlo. Also, be looking for some partnership with the Prospect Don. Be doing stuff for him and doing some content and some stuff for them as well over there too. So be sure to check that out. You can find me on X at RNJ_media, and you can check out the new website at rnjmediasports.com. It'll be out soon. It's not there yet, but the new URL is rnjmediasports.com. Check that out. You can check us out also on YouTube. And you'll be able to, at some point, be able to find this show on all your podcasting platforms too. So there you go, man.
Right on. And for Puck in Deep, again, it's called that for a reason. If you like in deep analysis of every team in the NHL, we'll be doing live streaming. I'll be doing videos. You'll be able to, if you enjoy looking at the little nuances of every team and everything that happens in the NHL and how it might affect that team, all of those sort of things. And guess what? I'm a professional sports handicapper on a sports podcast called The Ice Guys, voted best sports podcast in North
North
America
America.
last year,
Yeah, man.
and
Check them
they
out.
reached out to me part of it. So it's kind of hard to be on the best sportscast in North America and not be very good at what you do. So you
Exactly.
will be able to find my hockey picks as well here in the future, and I'll tell you how to do that. Or you can go to Perlo's NHL POW. You'll get some there as well. I'll be
Yep.
posting stuff on my Twitter. But
Awesome.
my best picks will be available with RNJ Media come the season start. And so I would sub up if I
Ooh.
were you. If you like having
Yeah.
fun and making a little money, you'll also enjoy this program that way. So I'll see you then. And thanks everybody for coming on, listening to the Minnesota Wild. Catch you next time. We'll be on to other teams and everything else in the NHL on Puck in